Well guys, here we are again. We're in the car. I've just pulled over to let you know that we're going fishing again. Woohoo! It's been a couple of weeks since I last fished, although I didn't film on my last session because I was on a guest on a syndicate lake and they didn't allow filming there. But if you go on Facebook and search Simon Dew Carp Fishing and have a scroll down my page, you'll see I had rather a nice result there. If you haven't heard about it already, it was actually on the front page of Carp Talk, so go check it out on Facebook and Instagram as well. Unfortunately I can't include any video footage of that fish, but yeah, you might have seen that already, but if not, go check it out. Yeah, we're going to the day ticket that you saw in my first video, so yeah, thanks to all the people that have watched that video so far, and if you haven't seen it already, just search for my February vlog, and it's sort of winter tactics and watercraft, I think it's called. But yeah, that one at the day ticket, that's where we're going again. I tried to go there for my last video, but it was booked up, but I think we've actually managed to get on it this time, so that's good. It's really hot. It's actually spring. I'm wearing a t-shirt. We're in April. It's been about 20 degrees this week, so such a change from my first video in February when it was sort of, you know, 4-5 degrees and, you know, chilly at night and stuff. We've actually had some really hot weather now, and we've just been sort of in t-shirts and getting sun cream out and everything, so yeah, it's quite a contrast really. And the fish have woken up. The lake's been fishing really well. I've been seeing on Facebook lots of captures, so the pressure's on to catch one really, because everyone else has been catching. So yeah, I'm going to head down there now. I'm going to have a little walk around the lake and hopefully find some fish. And the water might be a bit clearer now if the weeds started to grow up, so you might be able to see the fish a bit easier, which will be nice. And we'll try and decide where to go based on what we see. So I'll get back on the road and I'll catch you up in a bit. Cheers. Right guys, what better way to start a third video than that, eh? Literally been fishing a couple of hours, found the fish quite quickly. The water's pretty clear now, so if you walk around you can see where they are. And yeah, got a withy pool rig out to where I saw them, and I actually lost one about half an hour before this one ripped off. I was a bit gutted about that. I don't like losing fish, but got the rod back out and off it went again. And this was the result. Just over 20 pound, 2 ounces on a white S-Core pop-up, which is pretty much all I'm using at the moment. I'm sure you're sick of hearing about them, but they're really doing a business for me. So yeah, I'll keep using them until they stop catching, I guess. But yeah, lovely, lovely scaly fish, typical of the fish in here, the stockies anyway. Really nice, quite fast growing strain of fish, but absolutely beautiful and nice and dark because of the clear water as well, so absolute pleasure to catch. And hopefully there'll be a couple more on this session. We're only, like I say, a couple of hours into the session, so yeah, there's plenty of time. So I'll get this one back and I'll have a bit of a chat to you about tactics and why we've chosen the swim we're in. Okay guys. Right, so here we are. We're down the day ticket lake, as I think I said earlier. Come down for 24 hours. and I've got off to a flying start, as you just saw there. So I lost a fish which I was gutted about. Managed to make it to the island and cut me off on an overhanging tree, which was really gutting, but put the rod back out and yeah, nailed that nice little scaly one that I showed you, 20 pound 2 ounces. So it was a good start. I was looking back at some old well, some pictures from January, and actually it was a fish that I'd caught already, so not massively into repeat captures, but any fish is a result, isn't it? So happy to have caught one. So yeah, as I said, we're down for 24 hours. It's been really nice and warm lately. You know, we've had some pretty summery weather really, although there was a massive thunderstorm, I think it was last night or the night before, a really big thunderstorm, and that's obviously put some water into the lake, which might have oxygenated it a bit, so it might have helped us out, but it also may have dropped the temperature again slightly, so you never know really how that's affected the fish, but we'll see. So when I got here I had a bit of a walk around, and if you go around the far side of this lake you can kind of see into the water quite well with the sun on it, and you know, you need polarised glasses, but I walked around the back and I could see quite a few fish this end, and the wind's actually due to change and blow down this end as well, so I kind of went for the same swim for my first video, and you know, I don't just fish one swim because that's where I'm confident. I do tend to look for the fish, and if I see them somewhere, that's where I'll fish, and that's kind of what happened. I saw them here. I actually climbed up a tree and I could see a few fish milling around and clouding up the water a bit, so I thought, oh, they're on the munch, and actually that was the rod where, you know, where I'd seen the fish. That was the rod that went and I lost the fish, and then the one that I actually caught was on a different rod, not where I'd seen the fish, but on a spot that I'd caught fish previously. So yeah, I sort of checked my notebook for spots in this swim, because I haven't fished here since February, so you know, I had to sort of look back at how far out it was to spots and things like that, but I checked them, you know, wrapped up and checked the spots, and because the weed's growing up now, I didn't know whether those spots were gone altogether, but got a nice firm drop down and a little pullback with the lead, so it was still clear, and yeah, and put the rod out on that. So as it's spring, I've gone on pop-ups for all 3 rods, just my normal withy pull rig that I showed you in my last video, and yeah, because it's time of year I tend to always fish pop-ups, because there's a few reasons really. Obviously the weed's starting to grow up, so you need to present well above that. Also the fish's eyesight's not all that good, as the water's been cold through the winter, you know, their eyesight's not great, and they sort of their eyes are coming back to working now, and they're sort of looking for food, and you put a pop-up sort of in their face, and a bright coloured one, it kind of catches their attention and they tend to go for it, and then later in the year when they've been caught on pop-ups a bit, tend to go back to like the sort of snowman and more subtle presentations, but this time of year definitely pop-ups all the way, and you know, I've had 2 takes already today on the pop-ups, so it proves it's working. I tend to use white pop-ups all year round, but I've caught on yellow and pink and orange, you know, they all sort of seem to work, but just I tend to have confidence in the white, so that's what I use. So yeah, the fish was on the white S-Core pop-up over 18 and 15 mil freebies that I just scattered around the area really, and yeah, it was an absolute belting take. I think because the water's warmed up and the fish are sort of starting to think about spawning, they go a bit angry, a bit wild, you know, and he really screamed off, and then the fight was incredible, you know, he's sort of zipping offline across the lake and hitting the weed beds and going through and just ripping up the weed, you know, he didn't stop for the weed or anything, so it was quite impressive, you know. I remember when I caught that same fish back in January, just kind of plodded around and came straight in and, you know, didn't really fight at all. So yeah, it just shows you the time of year can really make a difference to how they fight and everything. So yeah, not much more to tell you at this stage. I wasn't really going to make a video because I've been feeling a bit poorly. I've got tonsillitis and got loads of like drugs with me, you know, ibuprofen and paracetamol and antibiotics I've got. I was feeling rough, so I wasn't even going to film, but then I had that fish straight away and I thought, well, I might as well put something together for you. So, oh, something's happening, hang on a second. Might just be the duck. I think there's a duck in the area there having a little dive down, so yeah, that's the trouble on this lake. I think I said in my first video, the ducks are absolutely a nightmare, and I'm just watching him now diving on my spot, so if I disappear in a minute it's probably because I've got to go land a duck which isn't ideal, as you can imagine. And as the lake's gone quite weedy now, it's quite hard to get good presentation. Might take you a few casts to feel the drop, and then the last thing you want is a duck picking you up and dropping you down in a weed or something. So it does have its challenges fishing here, but the fish are definitely worth it. And you know, some of the originals are absolutely stunning. You know, they don't get caught very often, but there's the 30-pound fully scaled that I want actually got caught a few days ago, so I was a bit gutted about that, but it's nice to see a picture of it and know that it's still in here. So I'm going to sort of keep going until I get that one, but yeah, I think for now I'll just have a little bit of a chill out as always. I haven't had a coffee yet, so I need to make amends there, don't I? Get the kettle on, and yeah, I'll probably update you guys this evening, perhaps just before it gets dark or something like that. Let you know what's going on, and obviously if I catch a fish, you'll see that as well. So yeah, I'll speak to you guys soon. I'm just sat here enjoying a nice cup of coffee, and I thought I should probably talk to you about my new chair that I bought. It's actually the same as my last one that I got, which after a bit of abuse on my part, actually broke. But after looking around, I just couldn't find anything better for what I need. So yeah, it's just you can see behind me. Yeah, so I'll just finish my coffee, and I'll talk to you guys in a minute. I'll give my sort of quick overview of the chair and what I think of it. So you guys can sort of go check it out. Okay, I'll speak to you in a minute. Okay guys, so here it is. It's called the Trakker RLX nano chair, and as the name suggests, it's very, very small and very, very light. I think it weighs something like 2.6 kilos, so as you can see, it's pretty light. You can pick it up with one hand. And it packs down really nice and small and flat as well. So what I actually do is chuck it in my unhooking mat for transportation. Yeah, look at that, it goes down really quick, really light, really small, you know. Absolutely perfect for sort of quick session, which is mostly what I do, you know. I very rarely fish more than 24 to 48 hours. You just don't need these big, bulky, reclining chairs that weigh about 10 kilos, you know. So there it is there, look, nice little bit of padding on the back, nice colour as well. It's got to be carpy green, hasn't it? You've got these adjustable feet here, which quite clever design. You just push that down and it slides in and out. So but the feature I really like as well is at the back here you've just got a straight bar like that, and it'll actually go onto your side of your bed chair. Let me just put that in for you, like that. So it goes on your bed chair like that and becomes a bed chair sort of mate, if you like. And also you can put it right across the other side if it's peeing down with rain. Put it right over your bed chair like that. So it's got sort of at least 3 different uses, and it's the lightest chair I've found, and packs down the smallest as well, and it's only 45 quid, so you can't really grumble at that. So yeah, if you're in the market for a small sort of lightweight and cheap chair, I can't recommend it highly enough. in the bivvy. It's got dark now. I think it's, what time is it? 10 to 9 actually. Wow, I didn't realise it was that late. Not even had any dinner yet. Yeah, I've just been watching the water. There's actually quite a lot of activity, which is encouraging. You know, all through the winter I barely saw a fish at all, and didn't really have a lot to go on as where the fish were, but I've actually seen quite a lot of fish crashing around, you know, near where I'm fishing, so there's always a chance. Tonight I just had a liner on the right hand rod as well, which is a good sign, so it could be a fish sort of milling around that one. So yeah, I'm kind of hopeful, but it has got quite cold. I can actually see my breath this evening. It's gone down to about 5 degrees, so it sort of almost feels like winter again, considering the weather we've had recently. It's quite surprising, but it was forecast that way. I would have liked to have come when it was a bit warmer, but I've just not had a chance really, and I've obviously been poorly, like I said. I'm still not better, but I kind of had to get out really. But yeah, I should probably have some dinner in a minute, and I've got, what have I got? Oh yeah, I've got a nice bit of curry. I think it's a chicken tikka or something. Nice British curry. And boiling the bag rice, so that's rock and roll. And then yeah, probably going to have a fairly early night, because not feeling great, as I said, and I've not really been sleeping very well with my throat and everything, so if I can get some sleep, that would be an absolute bonus. But it's quite nice. It's only just got dark, and it's, you know, getting on 9 o'clock, and I can actually still see outside. So yeah, it's definitely moving forwards the year now, and before too long, you know, it'll be t-shirts at night sort of weather, where you just sleeping on top of your bed chair, which would be absolutely awesome. I'm dreaming of the day when I'm so warm that, you know, I don't even need to get into my sleeping bag. That'd be nice. So yeah, if I catch anything, obviously you'll see that, and I'll try and show you. But if not, then I guess I'll speak to you in the morning and let you know how the night went, and I'll give you a bit of a look at the lake as well. It's not really shown you the lake yet, although you did see it in a previous video. But yeah, it's good to see it now. All the trees are sprouting, and it's looking a bit more like spring around the place. So yeah, it's nice. It's sort of looking beautiful at the moment. So yeah, if I don't speak to you in the night with the fish, then I'll catch you guys in the morning. Well, morning. Amazingly, I actually managed to sleep last night, which for me, when I'm fishing, is quite rare. But I think this tonsillitis has just knocked me for 6, and I needed it, you know. Not really been sleeping at home much, just waking up with a sore throat and everything. But yeah, had a bit of sleep. Don't feel that much better, to be honest with you. I probably look a bit grey. But I'm sure the antibiotics will kick in soon and I'll be feeling better. But yeah, had some sleep, which actually means didn't catch any more fish, so quite surprised really. Fish seemed quite active yesterday, you know, they were sort of moving around. There was the odd bow wave in my swim where I was, you know, and I saw like a couple of fish head and shouldering in the evening, and had a couple of liners as well, so I thought, you know, something might have happened. But no, it was a quiet night, so I don't know what happened. It did get a bit cold. I think I said last night it went down to about 5 degrees, so that might have sort of knocked them back a bit with it being warm at the moment. You know, 5 degrees is suddenly quite cold, and they might have just gone into shock a bit, you know, so who knows, today as the temperature picks up a bit, they might come on the feed. It's quite nice and overcast, as you can see, yeah, it doesn't look like bad conditions, although the wind's dropped off a bit, which I don't like normally. I prefer it to be sort of quite breezy. I think you get a better chance of a bite, really, but yeah, you know, we'll give it a few more hours. I'm going to stay till about lunchtime as per usual, but yeah, I'll grab a coffee and some breakfast in a minute, I think, and have a little sit down, try and make myself feel a bit better. And yeah, I'll give you guys an update before I leave, and unless I catch a fish, obviously, and then I'll show you that. But yeah, it's good to have got out and caught one. Bit gutted I lost a fish, but you know, you can't land everything. I was just unlucky, really, that it managed to make the trees on the island. I'll just give you a look down that end of the lake, because it's looking nice at the moment. It's really green. Everything's sprouting, you know. All the trees are sort of starting to get leaves and blossom on them and stuff like that, and it's really nice, you know. I'm excited, you know. Now it's coming to spring. It's sort of a good time of year to be fishing, really, isn't it? So hopefully I'll get another video made for you in not too distant future. So stay tuned for that, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well to make sure you're notified of that. So yeah, I'll have a little sit down. If anything happens, I'll show you that. If not, I'll catch you just before I go, just to let you know sort of what happened the last bit of the session. But yeah, I'll catch you guys soon. Right, well, we're coming to the end of our session here, and the end of my third video. Thanks for watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the bell notification icon just so you don't miss any of my future uploads. I've got another video coming in the next couple of weeks, which I'm going to do like a rig tips video, so that'll be 5 rig tips, so look out for that one. I've got a few ideas about rigs which you might not have seen before, some tips that you might not have heard of, so check that out. I'll post it on social media when that's done as well. But yeah, nothing more has happened on this session, unfortunately. I think the temperature changes in the last 24 hours have kind of knocked the fish back a bit. It was quite hot when we got here, and they were quite active, and had 2 takes quite quickly, you know, within a couple of hours. And then coming into the evening, it really cooled down, and you could see your breath, and I had my winter suit on again, you know, and I was sort of shivering and wasn't feeling very well with my tonsillitis and stuff, so yeah, it was all a bit dark and gloomy for me. But yeah, the fish just weren't really active, and this morning not seeing anything like my end of the lake, so I wound in about sort of 9:30, I suppose, and went for a walk around the back of the lake, and you know, climbed the tree where I saw all the fish yesterday when I got here. Oh, look at these guys, look. Noisy geese. They're going mental for some reason. There's another one. Hey, keep it down, will you? Yeah, so I climbed the tree that I went up yesterday when I got here, and I saw loads of fish there, and there was just nothing there today, this morning. So I walked a bit further down the other side of the lake, and actually there was quite a few fish, probably 10 or more, just cruising around about halfway along the lake, sort of mid-water, just cruising above the weed, and they're not really fishable for. There's only about 2 foot of water between the fish and the weed, and they don't really take floaters on here. I've tried that before, and you know, zigs, a bit dodgy with that much weed about, so yeah, you can't really fish for them, and they didn't particularly look up for feeding anyway. They're sort of just floating around, really, like submarines. I think, yeah, like I say, the temperature changes has knocked them back a bit. It's still sort of a funny time of year. They're not sort of fully woken up from winter, and you know, they're sort of getting ready for spawning, but still haven't got enough energy to sort of be tearing around and spawning, so that, you know, they're having a rest as well when it's a bit cooler and things. So yeah, you know, I was glad to get a fish when I got here. It's a shame nothing's happened the rest of the session, but you know, I can't grumble. I'm still catching, so that's good. Yeah, so it's a beautiful day, as you can see. Got to go home in a bit. There's a couple of guys coming on, I think, in the next couple of hours, so got to get off and give them space to get started. And I got loads to do at home as well, so it'll probably be a couple of weeks until my next video. But as I said, we've got the 5 rig tips video coming, so yeah, so look out for that one. And thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll speak to you soon.